friends, I'm Monday Madness, and welcome to another episode of the Jellyfield Donut Podcast.
Woo!
Exclusively-ish on the Low Blow Networks.
Jellyfish donut.
Stop. That's for later on. We did a tentacle episode. You just burned up that pun now. You fucked it up. You stung
You can't
yourself.
use that anymore.
No, you stung yourself now.
Okay.
Yeah, well done.
You've used
I'll
that
piss
one.
my
up.
own
I've used that one up as well. So we're fucked on both counts now.
Just piss myself.
Anyway, so
Can we keep that?
is that a context?
Yeah. For the soundboard that we're going to be making.
Yeah, the
have
work
that for
box. Yeah. So anyway, when we left you last on the Jellyfield Donut Podcast, our good friends Ash, Misty, Brock, Pikachu, Jesse, James, they're all dead. They all died in the fire.
Yeah.
They actually didn't die in a fire. They died in
Sleeping
a...
with the fishes.
Yeah,
We're following AJ from now on.
Yes, exactly. This is AJ's show now.
Yeah.
When he goes, his Sandshrew has won the Pokemon League.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you love to
I'd
see it.
happily watch that.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, there was a shipwreck and the boat is capsized and everyone's stuck in the boat. They're presumed dead, unfortunately, as we find out from the start of this episode.
And they can't like nobody can send a Pokemon down to look for them.
There's like dive wasn't invented yet. There's no Pokemon that can dive.
No Pokemon can swim.
No. Well, they can't swim, but they can't dive. Too deep. They can't do it. They only invented that in like some like foreign place called Hoenn, and that's when they got it. So it's a pity, but you know, then it's the breaks. Kanto seas are deep, man. So, yeah, we'll go and jump into this episode called Pokemon Shipwreck. The title screen pops up, and we see a boat held above some wreckage.
Yeah.
And we see Officer Jenny kind of stating that they thought everyone got off the St. Anne, but because of the incompetence of the fucking captain in charge, they soon realised that 5 people were missing. Jenny name checks them all, and indeed there are the people that I just mentioned there. They lament that their young Pokemon training careers were cut short. Yeah, because, you know, fuck search parties, I guess, you know. Well, but then...
Like, you know, none of like Professor Oak or Ash's mom or the 3 sisters or any of Brock's siblings.
kids are not there weeping, no,
they don't care.
No.
It's not even the case that Professor Oak recalls all of Ash's Pokemon so that he can release them.
No, they were lost to sea as well. They were gone.
It's not like he has a button that he can like summon them.
Just there, like, he's there, just looking at the crabby going like, well, you're clearly not Ash's Pokemon anymore. Just switching on the hot plate.
Meanwhile, down underwater,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, Charmander, burn a hole through the metal, and Charmander just vanishes, dusts away.
Oh, he was resumed dead, and they all went, oh fuck. Oh, well now.
Instead, no.
The Pokédex-
Charmander just starved to death in Ash's Pokeball.
And the Pokédex fucking just resets the factory settings. It gets rewritten for someone else. The new trainer, fucking some guy called Red, suddenly gets his Pokédex.
Oh no, you have to find Ash's body to get the Pokédex.
No, the Pokédex will transport itself. It's fine. We have that technology.
Just flutters out.
Just
It
flutters
is
out.
a Pokemon.
Yes, it's a Rotom. It was Rotom. Yeah, exactly. Rotom before its time. So, as I said, Jesse does a name check and then throws flowers into the sea to honour their memory. The men behind her salute them as you get the customary sad trumpet noise. The shit. The flowers sink to the bottom of the sea, and that's the end of the episode. So thanks very much for watching.
That was great.
No, in all seriousness, Ash is woken up by Brock and Misty, who wake up to see them upside down, and Ash is to figure out like, why are you upside down? And then he goes, well, actually, you're upside down.
They didn't think to get him down before they tried to wake him up.
No, this is far funnier.
Yeah.
Far funnier. Like
For the lulz.
his jacket was stuck on a table. This is always going to happen. Let's
Yeah.
get some comic relief in before we all drown.
Get this on TikTok.
Yeah. Because when they find the wreckage of all this, they find all like everyone's like, you know, like their remains and all that. That's what will survive. Is
Yeah.
a TikTok.
Yeah.
That'll become the meme that everyone remembers.
They'll find the phone and they'll say, okay, you know, first thing we're going to do, charge the phone and see if there's any fantastic gifts on
Yes,
this.
they must have taken at least one selfie.
Yeah.
You know, at least one. They add it to their story maybe because you can get good signal underwater. I understand.
Yeah.
I never tried that.
TikToks travel quicker in water.
They do, yeah. I heard that. I read that somewhere. So Ash is indeed his jacket is stuck on a table and he flails and crashes on top of Pikachu, which was hilarious. Ash is asking what has happened and Misty tells him to look outside. To which Ash notices fish swimming past, which is
Wait, fish exist?
The actual fish exist. Yeah, we saw that in the aquarium in
Yeah,
Sweden.
we've seen that before.
Yeah,
Still so strange.
it is
Same
strange
way,
because like
real birds exist as well that aren't Pokemon.
I don't remember seeing any real birds. I think later on we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was about to say that, like fish seem to be the only other part of the ecology that aren't Pokemon. Perhaps there are like other like bugs and shit, we just don't see them.
Yeah.
They're too small maybe or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. Like again, like spiders surely exist at some point. There's a purpose for them. Or bees. Where's the actual real bees? Or have they been killed off by the beetles?
The beetles have taken over.
Yeah. Fucking hate them. I told you, never trust wasps, lads. Always hate wasps. Fuck them.
Assholes.
Yeah. So he Ash obviously is aghast at this. He then realizes the ship is sunk. We zoom out to see it teetering over like a rock plinth. So it's like, oh look, it's
So lucky that it landed where it did.
it actually is quite
But you
fortunate.
wouldn't want to rock the boat.
No, don't rock the boat, baby. No, don't do that.
Don't tip the boat over.
Do not tip the boat
It's
over.
already been tipped over.
No, don't tip it over further. Like, ever since this voyage of love began, it was a fucking disaster, you know? So, we then cut to a sunny beach for some reason, and we see Jesse and James sunbathing and humming their motto. Jesse says, there's nothing like a tropical holiday with nice sun, blue seas, and a nice warm sky, I guess.
It's burning.
Yes.
Burning.
He just
Burning!
keeps, James just keeps burning, keeps saying the word burning, and then he wakes up and realizes, oh, they're underneath a cooker that's on fire. And Meowth goes, hey, you picked a great place to nap off. And they're just like flailing around trying to like put their fucking
Face
hair out. Yeah. So they find some water pipes that cool themselves down, which obviously works. And they ask why everything is upside down, and Meowth brings them up to speed. So again, the same story is happening on both sides of the ship here, essentially.
Yeah.
They realise the ship is capsized. James says they need to abandon ship. How exactly do you think you're going to do that, James? But Meowth says that they're underwater, and James freaks out. But don't worry, Jessie has a plan. She has a master plan to escape the ship. She brings out Ekans. Jessie tells Ekans to use acid to burn a hole through the floor, but Meowth tells him not to do that. What do you think happens, lads? Question sport here. What team? What happens
next?
Poison has no effect on steel. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Well, it actually does happen, I'm afraid.
Because that rule hasn't been invented yet.
Steel wasn't a thing. Steel wasn't invented until 2001. So
wood chip. Okay.
Yes, it was all wood. Yeah, it was all wood and PVC. That's all it was. It was all chipboard. Again, this unsinkable ship. Shocking to hear that. But anyway. Acid doesn't need melt through the floor, and a big spew of water sprays out from underneath. Smashes through the floor. Both Jesse and James, they smother the water as best they can, while Meowth told them off for like, stop being fucking idiots.
No, Meowth couldn't have stopped Ekans because like Meowth speaks.
It's a ship. He's a ship Pokemon though. Like he just goes, no, don't do that. I can't do anything. Like my claws are shit. And they obviously can't keep the pressure down, so they get swept underwater. Hilarious.
Fantastic.
They're dead again. So Ash's team comes to a staircase that's waterlogged, so it's water at the bottom and clear all the way up, but the staircase is upside down, so they're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
So Missy says, so long as there's air in here, it'll take time to fill up with water.
Smart.
Yes, he's very smart. Brock says that they still need to plan an escape. So Missy says...
That's not what they were doing.
No, they were just kind of wandering.
They were just having like, whoa, this is so cool.
Look
We're
at all
walking
the water.
on the ceiling.
Yeah.
We're going to die in like a day or two, so let's just enjoy the view while we can.
Yeah, just keep accidentally pushing each other into water going, say, oh, we're all going to die soon. That'll be us in a few hours.
You've hypothermia.
You'll die before us, Rolls. Anyway, Misty says they can either go up or down, but then Ash works out that if the ship is upside down, they'll have to dive down to the deck. See? Because actual smart things have happened.
Yeah, ish.
I think it's because it's an actual like life and death situation, so their brains have just slightly switched on a bit more.
Yeah.
You know. So yes, obviously they realise that, but Bracken counters with that by saying that if they get to a dead end while diving under, they're pretty much dead.
Yep.
Which is correct, of course. So Ash pictures then himself trying to open a door underwater and running out of air. And goes, oh, that's what he means. Okay.
Lol, don't want that to happen.
No, that would be bad.
No.
That'd be really bad.
Wouldn't even be funny.
No, that's the thing. You wouldn't TikTok it either.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, Ash realises the issue and asks what they'll do about it. So Missy reminds them that water is her specialty. Shipwrecks, on the other hand, are not. So she brings out Goldine. So Missy tells Goldine to scout underwater and bring something back if there's a way out. Which
but dive doesn't exist yet.
No, but Goldine can swim, I guess.
and Officer Jenny didn't have a Goldeen.
I mean, like she
only has Growlithe.
Yeah. And Growlithe are good boys who will not jump in the water.
They're fire boys.
They're fire boys.
They don't like water.
Yeah.
That's
also,
fair.
why did Misty only send Goldeen? She has Staryu, Starmie.
Quickest.
Yes. Well, Goldeen does have swift swim. It is the fastest swimmer.
I know, but you can have 3 scouts.
That's true. I can see your point, but perhaps she's like using can keep the Staryus for a different purpose.
Yeah.
Perhaps they need to spin their way out of a situation.
Need to tackle a door out or something.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That would work.
Or they need to be used in clogs to get the ship back running again.
Perfect. No, I have it. She keeps the Staryu as an improv steering wheel.
Yes.
A ship's wheel, and she just spins the Staryu around. Hi! Yeah! And the Starmie's like 4-wheel drive. Like I love that idea now. The mental image alone is great. I really want like somebody to have used a Staryu as a ship wheel in the like somewhere like an ancient sailor and used that once.
Yeah.
And that was how Pokemon training occurred or something. So yeah, Golding swims through the corridors and notices a dead end, which is a shame. It looks like Brock was right with his assessment.
Yeah.
He turns around though and sees Team Rocket struggling for air. Look at them. They're nearly drowning. How cute.
Aww.
So
Didn't they try to steal me in a big Hoover?
Oh, my how the tables have turned. They wonder what's taking Golding so long, but something breaks the water and it's a semi-drowned James.
Yeah.
It is great the way it works because the hair like kind of like sogging.
Flops over, yeah.
It makes him look like some sort of swamp monster, which is appropriate. This obviously scares everyone until Golding pushes the rest of them out. And they realise, obviously, oh no, it's Team Rocket, what are they doing here? And they say they look terrible as they spray out water from their lungs. Which is, good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Jessie tries the motto, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like, we're far from...
My lungs are too full of salt water.
Exactly. But they snap out of it and go and try and go for a battle. Brock saying they followed them to the bottom of the sea, you heinous criminals. You kind of caused this.
In their minds, Team Rocket went back after them.
Yes.
After the fact.
In the logic, yes, it was the fact like, well, you just won't leave us alone. You have to be here on this shipwreck with us as well. Like, not quite how this works, but whatever makes you work, your brain work, Brock.
Like that's Ash level thinking there.
It is, yeah, it really is. He's not thinking with his head, our Brock, unfortunately. And ever since that,
our Brock.
No, it's not. It's like it's a thing where like I think his brain is switched off since the woman in the dress showed up.
Yeah, still.
The hardness still hasn't worn off yet.
Yeah.
Still takes a few more turns.
You'd think with water being super effective against rock types.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
No. So Jesse and James bring out Coffin and Neckens while Ash and Brock bring out the 3 starters and Geodude and they start squaring up. They go to battle, but the ship. Yeah. What happened to Zubats on this?
It's just he's there.
He is a present. To be fair, would be pretty useless in this situation as well. Anyway, they go to battle, but the ship starts swaying and everyone slides down the corridor, fucking Scooby-Doo style. Missy tells them the ship is overbalancing, so Ash commands all the Pokemon to run to the opposite side of the corridor. And they do that, and the corridor sways the other side. And thus, they learn about weight.
Rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't tip the boat over. Fuck, people take a hint. Listen to the song. So Ash tells him to go the other way, but then Brock tells Geodude to come back to his side, and ship continues to teeter until they've got a balance worked out. So you've got like Pokemon on one side, humans and Sundry on the other, and they go like, right, we're gonna have to abandon this whole battle notion for a moment.
Yeah.
Until we can survive. I know, crazy notion. I know we all hate our guts, but this is actually quite important for us to survive this shipwreck first. So Missy manages to get that through their thick skulls, tells them to call back the Pokemon. Ash does it first, but is reluctant to do so because he knows that Rocket won't.
Yeah.
But he does it anyway, and then Rocket goes, okay, fair enough, we'll do it too. Because, self-preservation somehow was finally kicked in after the fact. So Missy tries to get them to work together, but everyone's still kind of angling for a fight. They're squaring up with each other, all tense and shit. So Missy tells them to shake hands. So Ash and Jesse kind of shake that as well, confirming a truce. James and Brock then kind of like go for this kind of like old man like hand squeeze like test of strength type deal. While Meowth and Pikachu also have a handshake, but Pikachu gives Meowth the cheeky thunder shock.
Like it's like a hand buzzer.
Yes,
That does
yeah, I love that. I did like that nice touch because like it gave a lot of personality to Pikachu, being like a
Just
little
one step above like putting a kickney sign on the back of him.
yeah, it's like a little cheeky shit you. So Misty says they shouldn't worry as she's built her own Saint Anne. As everyone goes, what? It's like yeah, it was a model. It's like oh yeah, of course it was a model. Yeah.
Ship in the bottle kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean waters especially, not shipbuilding, you know. So that's how she learned about how the ship works and the layout. So her plan is to get to the bottom of the ship, which is at the top as we all know, and then cut a hole in the hull, and that's how they'll escape, which is a sensible plan.
Yeah.
Ash agrees that it is at least a plan, because Ash was presumably just going to just try and eat his way out. I don't know, something like that. Maybe just call Oak constantly. Brock sees an upside down staircase, and obviously they can't reach it, so he brings out Onyx to be a makeshift staircase.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool.
It doesn't interrupt the balance of the ship at all.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Curious about that, isn't it?
Any
lots of ice.
Pokemon that any of them own
Yes.
doesn't affect the ship at all.
No. Not
Just
one bit.
happened to be at the exact centre point.
It was perfect. He was a fulcrum.
Yeah.
So everyone climbs over the Onyx. Presumably the boat is safe.
Yeah.
Misty tells Team Rocket to follow them, and they reluctantly do. So next up then we get to a dark corridor. They can't see where they're going at all. So Ash obviously solves this by bringing out, what's this called again?
Charmander.
Yeah, that's it. Look at his happy little tail. He's there wetting away, living his best life. Lights the way as Ash asks Misty where this leads. Misty says it leads to the engine room where the hull is the thinnest. Bit of a design flaw there, lads.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Just saying, that seems like a problem.
Titanic, all right.
Yeah. Like I know that for certain. Like, you know, like all new cars now have really thin bonnets, so that you can they're just like paper now. So whenever it rains, it just soaks through, and the engine's nice and cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it is. It's a great plan.
Yep.
That's why I'm never allowed near cars. Unlike Homer designing his first car.
The Homer.
The Homer. My God, you've ruined me. So they reach the door, only to find a broken upside down staircase and a massive fiery pit. Let's not ask how the fire got there. We'll just assume
They didn't start the fire.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was always burning since the world was turning. Who knows? No one will know. He is not happy I name checked that song.
Yeah.
He was hoping fucking nearly got him.
I think I can get this under the radar.
No, you did not. So the door they need to get through is across the pit, and that's a problem. So Ash says it's impossible to reach the engine room, so immediately Jesse and James think the worst and think they're dead.
Yeah.
Jesse says whoever said beauty doesn't last must have been talking about them. And Jesse laments that James was always a fine dresser, to which James, yes I was. So no, he's
Important stuff. Getting the important
he's supposed to
stuff
return
out.
the favour, like, you know.
In fairness, Jesse and James don't have any Pokemon that could help them in this scenario.
This is the problem. I think it's kind of dawned on them that they are quite literally useless in this situation.
Yeah.
They have nothing going for them
It's unfortunate. If it was a case
Could
that
coughing carry them across if they held on
they
to
don't
him
think
like
he
a
can
big.
hold on to that weight.
here. No. He's just a gas bag, quite literally. So it's like if you were kind of hanging onto a balloon, perhaps, but the balloon is like methane, really. So it's not as if it's not helium. It's not going to float you up, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fair
It's
enough.
a heavy balloon, like. You know? So I don't think it'll work.
But yeah, no, I think had it been a case that why would Ash and company help Team Rocket here?
They're just being decent
They're
people.
dead weight.
Well, you see, I'm going to take umbrage with this later on. When we get to the second half of the show, because I think they actually do fuck them up massively.
Oh yeah,
a few times. So yeah, maybe this is the case. This is like survival. Let's just get out of here, you know. And like the let's just happens to include Team Rocket because they're there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Misty tells them to snap out of it, saying that there must be another way out. And Ash going, I can't think of anything. Pikachu, shock me. Just trust me on this one. And he actually just grabs Pikachu, gives him an electric shock, and goes, "Yes, I have an idea." It's like, is this how this works now?
Yes.
You need to just charge
He's
Ash
been
up.
shocked so many times that he can only survive by being constantly electrocuted.
All the
This
connections.
is Philip Fry in Futurama.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of that. It's just a case of all of his connections in the brain are fucked. They're all fused.
Yeah.
So then once Pikachu shocks him, everything starts working for a half second.
It's like a brain thing with pictures. Give me an electric shock. It was an idea.
So Bulbasaur comes out and shoots vines to the other side. So Missy says, that's a great idea. And the tree just kind of shimmy along the vines.
With great balance.
Solid balance,
Yeah.
considering that like all they did was like,
Yeah.
It's all that time them, sleepwalking or sleeping out at night. They were able to practice their fucking yoga, apparently.
I would have
Solid
used Squirtle
balance.
here or Staryu to at least like dampen down the fire.
That would have been a good idea too.
I think the fire is too big though at this stage.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
you're just going to get steam, which will burn everyone.
That's true, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
the steam would fuck up the visibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
good
enough.
point. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So Team Rocket are more reluctant to move, and James in fact can't move himself. He's just too scared. But Jesse gives him a smack to bring him back to reality. Jesse says he won't leave him here, which I think is the first time they've actually shown like appreciation for each other.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we actually do kind of like each other,
Yeah.
even though we're both shit at our jobs and shit people and.
There's
Sundry.
no one else.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They actually they have to rely on themselves because of how incompetent they are.
Yeah.
So they get shouted at from the other side as Bulbasaur has retracted the vines, and Team Rocket pleads with them not to leave them here in the fiery pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the first half of the show, lads. That's when our ad break is.
Okay.
And you know what that means?
Who's that Pokemon?
Do-do-do.
Who's that Pokémon?
Excellent.
There we go.
You've had a perfect record so far, lads. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. So,
So, as we stand at the minute, Jonathan and I are on a tie score of 24
indeed we are.
And-
Burpbot is.
And I'm also here.
You are indeed here.
on 14.
13.
13.
So you would need 3 episodes back to back to catch up, and even then, you need 4 episodes to catch up, in theory, because
Oh,
it'd be her round
yeah,
once.
No, I'm doing the next round. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So it's my turn this time. So the dex entry is a sensitive Pokemon that easily becomes sad or angry. Every time its mood changes, it charges power.
Oh. Can you tell us what game that comes from?
Yellow.
Okay. Again, I'll give this to Burkbot first, since I'm further ahead.
Can you repeat the question?
I certainly can. A sensitive Pokemon that easily becomes sad or angry. Every time its mood changes, it charges power.
Charges power.
This is a good one.
Like, you imagine it's electric type. Which one? And we mentioned them all earlier.
Yes, you did.
Can you give it one more time?
A sensitive Pokemon that easily becomes sad or angry. Every time its mood changes, it charges power.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my first thought.
Go on.
Which is Pikachu.
Pikachu. Okay.
Okay.
What about yourself, James?
I wouldn't have jumped at it being electric.
All right.
Seeing that it's sensitive, that it is triggered easily, I would have jumped to something like Mankey or something along those lines. Cubone would have also jumped out, but Cubone is all about being an orphan, so
Yes.
wouldn't be that one. The fact that it's charging its power, Electabuzz.
Electabuzz. Okay. You're both wrong, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So my next tidbit I'll give you is that it is coloured yellow.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Give the clue. Give the dex entry again, please.
A sensitive Pokemon that
Yeah.
easily becomes sad or angry. Every time its mood changes, it charges power.
Okay. I have an idea,
Okay.
but it's purely an idea.
Right.
I'll let Burkbot go first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of yellow Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or Pikachu.
They do exist. I can trust you with that.
No, this isn't a shiny. It's
No, this is
that would
that would have
mean-
been a shithouse. No, it is yellow coloured.
I get the right answer based off colour.
I actually...
You can pass, I suppose.
No.
No. She kind of needs this.
Psyduck?
You gonna go with Psyduck? Okay. What about yourself, James?
I was going to say Psyduck there.
Right.
So, since I can't, Sandshrew.
You're both wrong, I'm afraid.
What?
It's neither. So, my next fact I'll give you is that its move... Actually, no, I'll give you its type. It's electric.
Okay.
It's gonna be fucking Zapdos. I'm gonna go with Zapdos.
You're going to go Zapdos.
I'll go Jolteon.
And the correct answer was... Jolteon.
Oh, I'm so sad for her.
Oh, no, winner!
I kind of wish that was Zapdos now.
We can pretend it's Zapdos if you want to. But I've done my job. I've took points off James. That's exactly what I needed to do. The move was going to be Pin Missile, which I think
That
might
would've
have given it away.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Although, at that point, I could have said maybe I can trick you into being Beedrill.
Oh.
But, because that's also yellow. But, either way. I've taken points off. That was my objective. Roll on next episode. Where my master plan takes its final form. Anyway, let's get on with
Next
the show.
episode, I'm giving the clue.
Yes. So I just have to...
can't.
Yeah, I just have to make sure Burkbot doesn't get it, you know? Just,
Oh.
teams... She's already straightforward at the moment, to be honest, but never.
Oh, she is angry.
She's got a grumpy face on.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got a scary face.
Sad.
She's got a scary face on,
I'm
which means...
charging.
She's all prickly. There you go.
Tapped her on the head.
Yeah, there we go. She's happy now.
Call back to one of the last few episodes.
When she fell over. Yeah, that was funny. That was good shit. So, the fires have gotten higher from the pit to start off our second part, but everyone is thankfully
Hope
across.
they all drown.
Meowth now says he knows what a toasted marshmallow feels like, which is not really the case, but however.
Okay, I'm going to say why wouldn't Bulbasaur, for the ones that he could carry,
Mm.
he could like pick them up with Divine Whip and...
I presume that's
Yeet.
probably what he did to them, like during the break.
Like,
He just
yeet them
grabbed them
over.
and just fucked them over. Yeah, I think that's what he
I think
did.
he yeeted them.
Yeah, I choose to believe a yeet occurred.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that makes sense because like.
I didn't
Or
expect
Ash
him.
just returned them to their balls.
But how did like the other three get across then?
Yeet.
Oh, yeet. Okay, fine.
Humans get yeeted.
The gang gets yeeted.
But could Bulbasaur have like flung them at their weight?
Oh, I'd say he would have.
Yeah.
To be fair, like he did swat away like a massive like super fucking turbine a few episodes ago, so I think he can do that. That's what
He can't make whirlwinds.
He can. Yeah, he just blew them away. He sucked them in, like, and just.
Oh no, I'm not a fire type.
So that's how he got the throat. You breathe in,
Heartburn.
Burns his throat.
burns his throat. Bulbasaur. Jesus, I'm fucking dying. How are you, love?
He was like, Bulbasaur!
He was it.
Bulbasaur!
Bulbasaur. Hey, fuck Jesus. Smoke inhalation.
Bulba.
Carbon monoxide poisoning.
So
Awful,
Human.
sad Joe. Terrible, Joe. It's terrible. It's awful, Joe. So, Charmander is brought out, and Ash tells him to weld through the metal hull with his fire. He does so, as Misty tells him to grab onto a water Pokemon and swim to the surface. That's part 2 of the plan. So Ash is sorted with a Squirtle, obviously. Misty says the same to Team Rocket, but they say they don't have any. And, like, Misty just fucking ignores him. Just like, yeah, that's
Alright, bye.
yeah, basically, it's just
Misty
that.
has 3.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, this is what I was going to point out. She has 3 water Pokemon. She only uses 2. Staryu is there. She never uses Staryu in this episode.
Yeah.
What bitch? What utter bitch?
Wait, oh, hold on. Maybe she was fighting with Staryu off camera, and Staryu is now fainted in its Pokeball.
Can still use Surf.
Yeah, you can still use HMs. You can still do things.
Okay.
Just saying. Like there's no reason not to give Team Rocket. Obviously, you can't trust
Yeah.
them with the Pokemon. That's I think the issue here. But if you're gonna trust them to get out, then surely like you can perhaps make the argument, give them a lend of a Staryu, or better yet, tie them to you.
Yeah.
You could have done that. Like
Take
there's
one of them.
yeah.
And, like,
Take me out as hostage.
Yeah.
As ransom.
Oh, can't see it getting wet.
No, that's fair. So anyway, Ash says that the hole is nearly punched through, and as it does, it forces to a current of water. Team Rocket shriek as they get splashed as Charmander runs away from the water, clutching his tail.
I
for dear life.
love that clip.
It's just like
I love that clip.
No.
I regret every decision that led to this.
Put me in the fucking ball, Ash. Come on.
Oh, it was just the way it was like, no, please, no. You can imagine him just kind of screaming, "Mammy, mammy, 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 mammy." So Ash thankfully returns Charmander as everyone starts tying themselves to water Pokemon as the water rises to their ankles. I see they have got the weirdo in to draw again. Good to see he got an episode all to himself.
Yeah.
So Brock has Starmie, which is perfect. You know, obviously the heaviest. Misty has Goldeen. Ash and Pikachu has Squirtle, and Ash gets them moving. Goldeen leads the way up the waterfall as Starmie and Squirtle follow.
Even in this case, Pikachu doesn't go into the ball.
He doesn't know. He gets clung on to Squirtle. So Squirtle is actually working for two here.
Yeah. That's just selfish.
Shellfish even.
Oh.
But like that's but you're right with that assessment. Like there's no reason not to have them on board.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't just like fucking call a truce and help like carry them over only to shaft them here. It's almost like it's almost as if they forgot they had a Staryu.
Yeah.
Or better yet, just didn't trust them to have a Staryu.
Yeah.
You know? So
but I was like, it's actually selfish of Pikachu not to get into his ball at this point. Life or death, Squirtle now has to carry the weight of Pikachu as well.
well, Pikachu's in like 16 pounds, like it's not that much.
Still.
Yeah. I suppose, I see your point.
Life
I see your
or
point, yeah. Either way, Team Rocket are still stranded, saying that they don't have the Pokemon. The trio make it out of the ship and start heading to the surface. So off they pop. This is now a Team Rocket episode. So Team Rocket is still stuck with the water rising, as Meowth says he hates water, especially wet water. I think we can all relate to that, can't we?
I hate wet water.
Yeah, love a bit of dry water though in the mornings. You're waking up there, you just need to cleanse your palate like. Jessie's annoyed that they can't get out without a water Pokemon, but James starts chuckling for some reason. And Jessie can't see what's so funny about this us drowning situation. Meowth thinks he's cracked up. But James says that they laughed at him for this, but now they're in a tight spot. He knew this would come in handy. And he shows off his golden ball.
Yeah.
With Jessie and Meowth realising and bows in the water, saying that they're not worthy. I was like, maybe not do that.
For a fucking Magikarp.
Yeah. So feast her eyes on the king of carps, and Meowth says he retracts his jokes and will treat James with respect from now on. James is lucky to have bought this, even if it did spend his salary. So James, Jessie, and Meowth tie themselves on as they tell Magikarp to swim, and he doesn't. He's literally just like you can tell, like you can see like he's moving, but like he's not actually going anywhere. Like all you were missing there was like the sound of like a car not starting. It's like me, carp. They give out that it can barely splash, let alone swim. So water intensifies and they're getting swept away again. They say that Team Rocket is blasting off again, but really what's happening is they're dying.
Yeah.
They're dead. This is the end of the episode. The ship finally knocks off from the plinth into the bottom of the ocean. They are almost definitely dead.
Yeah.
Almost certainly dead. So we see Ash, Brock, and Misty on this kind of makeshift platform made out of fucking cardboard. It looks like, by all accounts. I don't know how they
rubbish.
It was
Monster
just
Jelly left it behind on the off chance.
Clearly, yeah.
We don't have the resources to go in after yous. If you survive this much, here you go.
You can starve here instead.
Yeah.
Yes. Starve here, pneumonia, whatever gets you first, you know? So they wonder why Team Rocket haven't surfaced, and Misty worries that they may not have survived. Brock says there's nothing they can do except try and find dry land. Forget about them, they're dead. Yep. So Ash looks and sees nothing but ocean around him, but Brock then tells him of the story of Noah, who says he sent out a bird who brought back a branch. That's to get back all the Christians back on side after Bill taught about creation. Yeah. Clever, yeah? You can see where they're going with. So Ash thinks that's a great idea, and Ash brings a Pidgeotto to bring back something off the land. Pidgeotto looks around and notices something in the water. It's a Magikarp, struggling to swim with James, Jessie, and Meowth drowned in tow.
Yeah.
Is there nothing more depressing than seeing a fish trying to tow 3 drowned people? There's something depressing about that.
Twice in this episode that they've drowned.
Yes, basically. Pidgeotto...
Basically Buffy.
Basically, yeah. So Pidgeotto sees them and flies them back to the floating platform. It's implied. Pidgeotto just sees them, and then our next scene is, oh, they're on the platform.
Yeah.
We found them.
Not important as to how they got from A to B.
Nope, just Bulbasaur just went fines, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So we see Team Rocket in a sodden pile, Magikarp still flapping about, living its
Still
best
alive,
life.
yeah.
Missy says they weren't able to make it, as Ash says, not even Team Rocket deserved this. Brock goes, oh well, we better push them back into the sea. Give them a traditional burial.
Get Charmander
So
set
dark.
in the light.
I love it. Brock is so pragmatic in this. It's just like, oh, they're dead. Oh, well, they're drowned now. Well, we can't get rid of them. Here. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's like, again, they do this kind of like weird. They bless them with like, namaste, bitches, and fucking push them off the...
At least
the
take the yakins and coughing off them.
They don't need to die.
Yeah.
No, the Pokemon must go down with the trainer. It's one of those rules. So...
One of those unspeakable rules.
Yes, exactly. The code of the Pokemon trainer, especially in death. So, yeah, essentially they push them off. They try and push them off, but Jesse and James wakes up suddenly while Meowth falls into the water because, fuck them. The trio shout zombies, but Rocket wake up furious, claim that they're not zombies. And Meowth asks for help. Pikachu doesn't help as it climbs out of the water, and Pikachu goes, damn it, fucker, I'll get him again.
One of these days you'll die.
I love this.
I'll laugh.
I love this weird rivalry between because from the 2 episodes beforehand, Meowth had this loved Pikachu. He stanned Pikachu for a while, and then Pikachu on the other side goes, I fucking hate him.
Yeah.
I
want
cannot
him to
stand him.
drown.
I want to kill him. I've tried to kill him twice here.
Put the
Horseshit.
cat inside the bag. Put the bag inside the water.
Oh no, the cat's out of the bag.
Hey. Anyway, nighttime and the platform is floating away. Everyone is sleeping as Magikarp keeps flapping. We cut immediately to the next day as everyone is lying down starving, and Miss C says she would have stuffed herself in the St. Anne if she knew she'd be stranded.
Yeah.
Instead, she ate desserts.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
I know, I'd still do the exact same.
Yeah. Perhaps, yeah. So James also wants some food, but the whining only makes him hungrier. Ash and Brock are staring at the Magikarp, thinking of various carp dishes.
This was hilarious.
That was great because it is just like various like fish dishes with just carp. The Magikarp going bleh. Just like dead.
Just a Magikarp face and...
and a meal.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you like your steak done, sir? Magikarp, please. It's like, okay, very well. So at the same time, then Jesse and James start thinking similar dishes as well, and then everyone just is staring, like crawling towards the Magikarp, drooling. As the Magikarp is there just flapping away going like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Meowth dives for it first, saying dinner's now been served, bites down, only to chip its teeth on its skin.
Yeah.
Missy tells them to check their Pokedex because Magikarp is just scales and bones, hence why she didn't indulge himself in a hunger dream. So Meow says that she could have said it sooner, but it's funny. James gets annoyed that not only the Magikarp can't swim, but can't even be eaten.
What a bad fish.
It really is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a fish that can neither swim or be eaten?
Every one of its Dex entries, it talks about how useless it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like
they're all so talked down. They all talk down it so much.
But I do love Gyarados.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole point of it. It's just such a massive 180.
Is there any other in the other gens Pokemons that are absolutely dog shit and then fantastic?
In the third game, Hoenn, they have a thing that's like Magikarp, except it's a lot tougher to get.
Yes.
So instead of Magikarp is everywhere and you can just get them, you have Phoebus, which there is one route that it lives on. There is a water route that's like 300 tiles. It lives in 10 of them.
Right.
And those 10 change in every playthrough.
They're randomised.
They get randomised every time. So
Yeah.
what you have and another person have is not the same. And it's like a 20% chance you'll get it when you fish there.
Yes.
So incredibly rare that you get it. And then it turns into Melodic, which you drew for one of the Pokemadness challenges.
I did. I remember that one.
Yeah.
The big snaky boy.
Yes.
It literally evolves.
Beautiful snaky
The
boy.
beautiful sneaky boy.
It literally evolves out of beauty. The way to evolve Phoebus is to in that game you get contests, and like you have different categories, and one of them is beauty. So So you max out its beauty skill, and you level it up, and it evolves into melodic.
Once this pretty fish feels beautiful.
Yeah,
then
basically, because Phoebus is an ugly fish. Like it's
uglier than Magikarp.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So it turns into that then.
Interesting.
You probably throw Wishy-Washy into this as well.
Yeah.
Because Wishy-Washy is in Generation 7, and it is just itself a kipper. It's literally a kipper.
Yeah.
But when it's at full health over a certain level, it like schools into this massive fucking like massive fish. But the problem is then when it gets to a certain level of health, then the school disperses and it's back to being a kipper again.
Oh.
So it changes it
That
back
up until a
Okay.
point.
Yes.
And then it becomes really, really, really crap.
And its stats are amazing. Like it is like the fish have all collected together, but the speed is terrible. So it can be beaten. But you have to kind of weather the storm a bit, if you pardon the pun. I'm trying to think, is there anything else like that? I suppose like a lot of the pseudo legendaries have really like poor starting off Pokemon that you have to really, really work at.
Volcarona as well.
Yeah, Larvesta would be a great shout.
Larvesta is
Yeah.
really crap to begin with. And it takes a long time to get good, and then it gets amazing.
Yeah, Dino would be the same.
Yeah.
Dino would like evolves like level 53
And
into the second
then
stage.
64.
64, yeah. So that takes a long time. So if you get a Dino, like there is in Generation 5 you can get Dino quite early, like level 20s and all that.
Yeah.
But because it's a pseudo legendary, it takes so long to evolve, and you're thinking like, I'm not gonna fucking use this. It's shite.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, if I work at it, I literally get a Hydra. Like, I'm gonna have some of that, you know.
But it takes so long to get to that point.
I probably wouldn't have the patience.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, you say the same for some of the baby Pokemon as well, but they were kind of redundant in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
So, you can
Elekid, it has to like you before it'll turn into...
Yeah, like stuff like that, or Smoochum or something, like, or Cleffa.
Oh, they're crappy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, they have used a Magikarp trope before, and will no doubt do it again.
Oh yeah.
You know, because it works, it is successful. So anyway, James gets annoyed and tells Magikarp he doesn't want to be its master anymore, and kicks Magikarp into the sea, releasing it, if you will.
Yeah.
So it struggles in the water because again it's shit swimmer. Missy feels sorry for it, but suddenly it starts glowing.
Dun dun dun.
I did wonder whenever you saw that it flailed all night and into the next day. Was it getting experience from flailing? And that's why it managed to hit level 20.
He was actually fighting a load of Goldeen in the water.
It was fighting the air.
That's what it was, yeah. No, I think
I'm supposed to be. I'm a fish. Damn it! I'm not supposed to be in the air.
But see, I like the way it's done in this episode or in this show.
It involves a hit.
It involves out of rage. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've just pissed off the Magikarp and it's evolved that way. And like Gyarados lives off fury, lives off rage. You know. And as we'll talk about in the Pokédex further, there's a huge amount of mythos behind Magikarp and Gyarados, why they are like this.
Yep.
So we'll explain that further on, and you'll kind of realize why Magikarp is the way it is, and then suddenly turns into this crazy fucking Pokemon.
Cool.
You know. So the Pokédex explains that Gyaradoses have a bad temper. James tries to introduce himself, but immediately gets startled by Gyarados roaring at him. Like his basically just him going, "Fuck you!"
Why
Look
didn't
at me
James
now,
return it to his
James!
ball?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the ball at this point? Was it
It's well gone, I think. Yeah, I say he left the ball behind in the ship.
It disintegrated in the water.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
The gold paint chipped out, like all wiped off.
Yes, exactly. When he released it, like it's gone. The Pokeball's gone. It's unregistered now. It's saved up for someone else.
I'd love it if like it wasn't. He had returned it and was like every time he sends it out, Gyarados becomes Victory Bell and basically tries to
He kills him. Yeah. It's like, go Gyarados, I fucking kill you. Stop doing that. Go return Gyarados. It's like, go Gyarados. I swear to fucking God, if you do that again, I'm gonna fucking kill. That's great. I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that. So yeah, Misty brings out Staryu, Starmie, and Goldeen. As Brock goes, why are you trying to take down a water Pokemon with water Pokemon? And says, I'm not. I'm trying to fucking leg it.
Yeah.
Ties the Pokemon to the raft, and they basically like start swimming.
Zoom.
Yep.
Why didn't Pikachu attack?
I don't know. They're scared. They're spooked.
They've never seen it before.
Yeah, they don't know what it is.
They don't know what level.
Yeah. They have no clue what's going on. Like, they're literally just been startled with this massive fucking dragon. Like, they probably think it's a dragon. You know?
Well,
So, you never know. Either way, they start getting sticks and, like, raft, like, rowing their way away from the Gyarados, who's just kind of, like, not really like sprinting away. It's just kind of like, bobbing away, just like, yeah, you can keep struggling, you little bitches. So they keep doing that, struggling, and the Gyarados seems to have kind of got them distance away from them, to realise, oh shit, social distancing, fuck, I forgot about that. So the Gyarados stops and starts roaring away from them and asks what's it doing. Brock thinks that it's tired out, his Team Rocket celebrate. But Misty is worried that the stories Might be
Might
true.
be true.
She speaks of sailors having trouble in the past on boats, and Gyarados potentially being responsible for it. She realizes the Gyarados is going to use Dragon Rage.
Oh no.
Yes. Now, here's the thing about this, right? Dragon Rage is a fixed damage move in the games. It does just 40 HP. That's it.
Yep.
Nothing more. In essence, it's a really shit move. In the
It's
grand
good
scheme of things.
in the early game.
Very
when-
much so.
When it first evolves,
Mm.
if everything is at level 20, it wrecks everyone.
Very much so, yeah. But
And then it doesn't.
Well, you,
doesn't, yeah.
you look at their levels, we know are around the 20, 30-ish.
it would cause a lot of havoc,
Yeah.
in fairness. That is the region where Dragon Rage is good.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
Just beyond this is where it stops being good.
Exactly, yeah. But of course they kind of build off this mythos over the move, because I suppose it's the only dragon move. They can do
Yeah.
whatever they want with it. So the clouds close in and the waves rise as like tons of other Gyarados start appearing from the water. It's like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. What's the collective noun for a Gyarados? It has to be a rage of Gyarados, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
that,
good
that
one.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it has to be.
And then they start doing Ring Rosie.
Oh, got it. They're a twister of Gyaradoses.
I liked Rage.
They're
Yeah,
rage,
we'll go Rage? Okay, we'll go with Rage then. So everyone thinks they're doomed as the Gyarados start swirling.
A splish splash of Gyarados.
A splash of Magikarps.
Yes, a splash of Magikarp.
Yes, we'll work at collective nouns for now on. So yeah, Misty says the Dragon Rage is their ultimate attack. They keep spinning until a whirlpool develops and starts heading towards the platform. Misty says no one has ever escaped the Dragon Rage. I mean, technically true, it's 100% accuracy. The Cyclone heads straight for them as the platform is broken up. Team Rocket gets swept away immediately because they're shit.
Yeah.
And the trio then try and hold on to each other, but eventually their grip slips and they get blown away into the Cyclone.
I mean, they tried
End
to
of
hold
the
hands
series.
with the Pikachu.
They do,
and
yeah.
expected that to work out well.
No, well, I mean, I suppose like they were kind of panicking at that point. Like, fuck
Yeah.
shit, they can just grab onto anything. And the narrator just takes over with way too many puns, being like, oh, they've been swept away. What will happen next? Cyclone joke.
Yep.
Hurricanes!
Cruel twist of fate.
He did say cruel twist of fate.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I could be the narrator.
You could be the narrator if you wanted to.
I believe in you.
Do you really want to be the narrator though?
I want to be the best that there ever was.
Like no one. Yeah, you could do. Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, so we end the episode on that, and that's it. To be continued again. We'll see what happens to them in the next episode. But for now, let's jump into the Pokédex. We have two new scene, which is Magikarp and Gyarados.
Woo!
Yep.
Now
These are gonna be interesting.
they are actually incredibly interesting. First off, you'd be shocked to hear that Magikarp is based off a carp, right?
Not a magic carpet.
An Asian carp, to be precise. This guy.
Corp. Oh, that does look dumb.
Yeah. It looks like
It's the face of. It's like
It's derp.
yeah, it is a derp
Got
fish.
the lips right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, the actual like little tashes are for a different reason.
Oh.
Yeah. So essentially, the way this works is right. There's a lot of Pokemon in Generation 1 that's based off a lot of Japanese mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few that we'll kind of jump into over the over War Turtle's one of them, and a few others that are just based specific for the design.
Yeah.
Magikarp is very, very close to the mark though. So Magikarp is based off a legend, basically, of Asian carps, which we just saw there, that say that if they leaped over the Dragon Gate, they would themselves become dragons. It's supposed to be this sort of like fable that like if you like kind of
Work hard
achieve
enough.
work hard enough, you will succeed and become the best at what you do. That
Right.
type of deal.
Yeah.
And it's essentially like it's a lot in kind of like Chinese mythology throws into this as well. And basically waterfalls and like that sort of stuff are meant to believe to be like where the Dragon Gate is held. So you know, like in video games,
Yeah.
you always see that there's something like past the waterfall or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, right? Except that some of them do actually exist, like caves amongst waterfalls,
Yeah.
and they believe to be location of the Dragon Gate. The idea is that it's an allegory for like avoiding obstacles, that type of deal. So if you remember in Pokemon Snap,
That was a fantastic game.
you will see like there's a Magikarp there, and if you basically bonk on the head a few times, you'll push it into the waterfall.
You have to knock it further and further down the stage. So as you begin the level, there's a Magikarp, and you have to knock it out of the water onto land. You round the corner. You have to hit it again at a certain point to knock it further downfield
Yes.
until you knock it into a waterfall, and then a Gyarados comes out and attacks you.
Ha.
It's great.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the whole. Does Pokemon Snap like really nailed that like actual like legend, if you like. Because it gets knocked into the waterfall. You don't see it come out, but when you see it come out from it is a Gyarados that just pokes his head out and just smiles to the camera. It's fucking amazing. Like, holy shit! I really hope they bring that back for like number 2, because that would just look beautiful.
We still don't have a date in that yet, do we?
Nah, I think it's probably Christmas or something like that.
This Christmas.
Maybe, yeah.
Or Christmas next year, I don't know.
Maybe, who knows? It could be anything. By the time this comes out, which is like a month later, we might get a date. But yeah, like Magikarp has a lot to it. Again, the reason why it's so shit is that the carp itself is pretty shit.
Yeah.
It's like one of those kind of like, it's like the fainting goats of the sea, where they're so easily disturbed and frightened that apparently if you can spook this fish and it can jump massively into the air.
Okay.
Hence why, the waterfall stuff as well. So it all ties in.
There was a smartphone game called Magikarp Jump.
Yes.
Out a few years ago.
That's what it's based on as well. Yeah. So it's very, very popular in that sense. So yeah, obviously the name is it's Magic Carp. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Don't you see? But the actual Japanese name, Koi King, is literally King of Carps.
Oh.
Hence why the guys call it that. Yeah. So again, it's a nice little nice little play on words there again. But
King of Carps, does he have a crown on him?
Yeah, he does have a king crown. Yeah, but the fin is like crown shaped.
Yeah.
Which is again kind of appropriate in that sense. And obviously, as James said, there is an actual game based around him called Magikarp Jump. It is by far the shittest Pokemon ever to exist, outside of Smeargle. But like I said, it's deliberate, so that like you have to work at it, get it to level up to level 20, and then suddenly, bam, Gyarados.
Yeah.
I love the idea that like if they were able to lean into us in like future games, if Magikarp was done in like Generation 6 or 7, you'd have to teach it Waterfall, and then it evolves into Gyarados or something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Before the time. But again, this is all like after the fact. So, moving on then to its evolved form, Gyarados. What a fucking class Pokemon this is.
Yeah, one of my favourites.
Isn't it amazing? Like, it's so fucking cool as a Pokemon. Like, you just look at it and go, oh shit, Gyarados. Okay, let's get down to business,
Always fun using it in games.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Obviously, it's based off, like, a kind of a sea serpent. That's how its shape is. But there is more to it than that. You can kind of see like that's what like the actual shape of it is. So it is something that like disrupts sailors, like from Norse mythology and that type of deal. But the actual design of it is based off the Chinese dragons.
Yeah.
So
that's
that kind of
obvious from the face.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You might be wondering actually. Have you ever wondered why it's water flying?
Kind of thought that.
Are those meant to be his
kind of
fins at the
yeah.
side of his face meant to be wings or something?
It's not quite that. The weird thing about it is like you're kind of right in that like there's kind of like winged eel vibes off him. Mm-hmm. But the actual reason for it is because of its design of what it's based off. It's based off a windsock that's used to celebrate Children's Day in Japan. It's called a koinobori. That's it there. Look.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right. So
makes all the sense.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're all carps.
Yeah.
They're all different coloured carps that like kids will apparently like design and they fly them during schools and during Children's Day they do this.
Huh.
But yeah, there's a lot of and it's obviously like based off like like you've seen like the these fellas here, the Chinese dragons.
Yeah.
So that you can see Gyarados in.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's the design, it's the head, the kind of whiskers if you want to call it that, and then the scaly skin as well. But obviously the like actual talons aren't there either. So it's a real combination of the Chinese dragon and the sea serpent put together.
Yeah.
What would you have made of the? I remember seeing a theory going that Gyarados and Dragonite were mixed up. That it should have been the opposite way around.
I don't think
Dragonite
so.
also has the little mustache coming out of its antennae on its head. It's also a dragon that comes from again a lot of perseverance.
Yeah.
Dragonite follows Dratini, Dragonair, Gyarados has the same colourings.
They do,
as
yeah.
you go up.
I don't have any credence to that. I think like Dragonite has its own like reasons for being because it's based off a lot of like Nordic designs for dragons and stuff like that. So like we'll get to that when we do talk about Dragonite. But for me, I'd say like maybe Dratini and Dragonair were just meant to be just general sea snakes. And then suddenly Dragonite was such a massive change that like they had to get a dragon in somehow, so they just tied it together with the actual dragons in the game. You know what I mean? With the Magikarp and Gyarados, it makes sense that those two were paired together all the time, because like it was literally just like this carp, like it's an allegory for the carp legend in Chinese mythology. jumps in, becomes a dragon if it passes the dragon gate. So, like, it had to have always been that. Maybe with the design-wise, you could argue that one may have inspired the other. Perhaps
Because Magikarp and Dragonite are the same colour. Then we've got an orange to an orange.
Well, the shiny Gyarados is red.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can make that argument. But I think, like, perhaps they have designed Magikarp and Gyarados and perhaps retroactively made Dragonair and Dratini as, like, okay, there's, like, kind of derivatives of that. And then Dragonite was always its own unique, like, creature.
Yeah.
And they just paired the things together. Like they did with the Cubone and Marowak and Kangaskhan type deal. Where they just had designs generally and then just paired everything together to what they thought makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, I never believed in that idea that, like, Gyarados was meant to be the final evolution for that. I don't think that's ever the case.
Okay.
In my opinion. So yeah, it takes a lot of inspiration from, like, actual sea, like, creatures. The Kraken is there as well. The Leviathan is what the French translation of Gyarados is.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Like
like
a Gyarados looks like a shrimp.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. So it's like, well, like the French like term for it is Leviator, and it's obviously supposed to be like a corruption of Leviathan, whereas in everyone else it's called Gyarados because, you know, they get the idea. But the actual name Gyarados is quite curious as well, because it comes from, like, Gyarados may come from Gaiahatsu, which is either massacre or slaughter, or Gaiako, which is hardship or adversity, which checks in with, like,
Both of the names
as well. So, like, it would, like, involve, like, how fucking furious, rage-filled this creature is, and how it actually, like, took so long to actually evolve as well. So you can make that argument.
Hardship of splash, 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 splash.
Yeah.
Splish splash.
Splish splash. So, like I said, there's various different ways about it. So Gyarados gets a lot of love in the game as well, because obviously it just looks so cool. So in Generation 2, we get the Lake of Rage, which is full of Gyarados.
Yeah.
And the centerpiece of it is our first shiny Pokemon you can officially get, which is a red Gyarados, which I think looks the part. And it is, like, really, really cool.
Fantastic.
It really does. Like, it's certainly one of the more standout shinies out there, outside of perhaps the Charizard.
They did that quite a bit. Like, any blue turns to red whenever it comes to.
Yeah, anything that has a drastic contrast, they go for it. Like, yeah. Definitely that. And then in Generation 6, then he gets a Mega Evolution, which curiously enough then makes him Water Dark, which I think, like, the premise, I think, is obviously to get the double weakness of, like, electricity gone, but it's also to kind of fully lean into the Kraken motif more so. I think that's the whole idea of it. There's not really any reason for it. It is just, like, for a mechanical reason, as opposed to, like, inspiration from something.
Yeah.
Perhaps there is, but I'm not familiar with it myself. But yeah, like, there's just so much good stuff in these two Pokemon.
I do love it, yeah.
Like, again, you can kind of tell, like, these are the type of things that they got inspiration for and made a Pokemon from, as opposed to, like, let's just make a seal or let's make a goldfish.
Yeah.
This is something they wanted to put in because of mythology.
Yeah.
And then over the generations, they'd have Pokemon like this all the time that was inspired heavily by something. Like, Tyranitar was literally Godzilla.
Yeah.
And they worked back the way then. Or I think War Turtle does have a story to it, which we'll get to. But, like, they're, like, part of the design, whereas this, like, Pokemon is literally the mythology all wrapped up in a bow.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking perfectly done. I think even the legendary dogs have a reason for being as well. Like, they have mythology behind them too.
Yeah.
And again, they're all very interesting that we'll get into whenever we cross that bridge.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Gen 2 is a long way away.
It is. Let's not put the cart before the horse there. So, our current Pokedex. Stop,
The
Jen.
carp before the Gyarados there.
Clever. Did you see what you did there? She's very good. She's very good. So, as I was saying, we are currently, our current score is 40 seen and 10 caught.
It's actually disgusting that, like, his number caught is only going to end up being something like 15 at the end of it.
Exactly, yeah. It's pretty bad, but here we are.
Really bad.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, really. Either way, that's where we're at the end of episode 16. When we come back, we're going to see what happened to our friends as they were swept away.
I thought they just died.
I think it's heavily implied that they died.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, either way, we will leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much for listening. Feel free to subscribe to the Low Blows Network for more of the same. Subscribe to us at Monday Madness for some hot YouTube content.
Hot.
And of course, follow us at Monday Madness LP on Twitter to keep track of everything that we are doing. And if perhaps you're watching this on the Nerds Roast channel, you can check back with the Low Blows Network and watch this a week early if you want. But until then, guys, thank you for watching. We will see you next week for more of the same. I've been Jonathan. That's been James. That's been Burkbot.
Bye.
See yous.
And we'll see you soon. Take care.
There we go.